check.
All right, praise God.
God. All right, give me 1 sec, sis. I'm gonna make sure that share this on my Facebook. The other thing is that here we go. It's already sharing. Great. So give me 1 sec. So it's on my Facebook Live and then it's also on YouTube. Okay. Okay. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this. Really? Well, a regular schmegular dude like me, oh man, makes me feel special. All right. And here we go. So I got to pull up my chat. Sorry, I meant to do this earlier. So there's this chat where people they get the last time a sister posted wrote something in the chat and I didn't even pay attention to it. I was like, "Whoops. The show's already over." I was like, hopefully we answered your question." All right. So yeah, you're good. You're good. Like the screen just shows the logo right now, so you're good to go. Okay, I might have to turn my audio down. Okay. All right, let me know when you're ready. All right. Okay, and this I gotta remember what I called it, the language of love. Okay. All right. What's going on, guys? It is your man Gerard Kenneth. Thank you for checking
And on my podcast, this is supposed to be different podcast. This is episode 48, The Language of Love, featuring Kayden. I met Miss Kayden via Clubhouse. If you don't have Clubhouse, y'all might need to hop on that joint. It's lit, it's dope, but you gotta be mindful of the rooms that you come across. And for me, I'm extremely mindful of it, and I've come across some really dope individuals, like for real, for real. So most of you guys may know that my thing is relationships, but you know I love language. I'm a nerd, and that's what really gravitated me to her when she said, "Oh, I speak like 5 different languages." I was like, "No, follow." And while she was in the middle of talking, let me go ahead and use my Twitter fingers and send her send her a message in IG. "Hey sis, I want to do a podcast with you." Da 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 da. And she said, "Cool." And I'm grateful for people like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for people like you, sis. And give me a sec so we can show you.
I'm grateful for people like you, sis. For real, because it's like, you could have easily said no. Or you could have easily left me on red or not even made an attempt to look in the general inbox of IG and went on about your business. But I mean, no, for real, because I'm guilty of that. I had to go back and check my messages and be like, oh, I have a general box. Let me look at that. Oh, somebody said something. I'm just like, oh, okay. And so whatever. But Kayden, how are you doing today? How you feeling today? Hey. What?
Left you on red or
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, because I almost forgot actually because I told you like, oh, I'm gonna get back to you tonight, and I was like, wait, is there something I forgot? Like,
I'm guilty of that too.
Went back to my ears, I was like, oh yeah,
Right.
podcast.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I had did a podcast last week, and it was with a sister here in San Antonio. We were doing a podcast, and I get a text message from my music director at church, and he's like, "Hey, bro, you good?" And I was like, he said, "Hey, bro, where you at?" And I was like, "Why?" It was on a Monday. I'm like, "Why is he texting me in the middle of my podcast? Don't he know?" And then it hit me. I was like, "Yo, we got rehearsal today." And I completely forgot because it was like we usually have a rehearsal on like a different day, but we decided to do it on a Monday, and I totally forgot. I'm in my zone with this podcast. I'm cackling and keying it up, and I get this text. I'm like, what is he doing? Why are you texting me right now, bro? And I said, oh man, I got rehearsal. But it was too late. And so we actually had another rehearsal the next day, so it worked out, but I felt real bad. So you good, man. You good. I was like, man, they about to cuss me out. So, We talk behind closed doors, and I'm just gonna give like a brief summary, because I just want to say this part. She's a singer songwriter. She lives in California. You live in LA.
Yeah.
Okay. She does a lot from what she, but I want you to go ahead and just let people know about you. I'm not going to do it. I want you to like introduce people to you, people who are watching who may not know who you are at all, because for the most part, and you even shared a story in reference to your parents about
how it was real brief. I peeped that out. You said, "Oh, my parents did this," and then you just kept it moving. So go ahead, Miss Kaden.
Well, I'm Kayden Lynette. I'm an artist, songwriter. From France. Okay. So there's a lot about me. It's like I'm kind of every time people say like, "Where are you from?" I'm just like, "I'm from Earth, man," because
Oh wow.
like my origins. I was like, wow. I
Mm-hmm.
was born in the Caribbean. My mom is from the Caribbean.
Which
Puerto
island?
Rico. So it's the French West Indies.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
called Guadeloupe.
Oh, say
Yeah.
again.
So Guadeloupe.
Guadalupe. Okay. You kind of like started going out real quick. Guadalupe. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Oh, I've heard of that island. Go ahead. Continue. Man, I'm a nerd. All right. I'm gonna let you know that now. I'm a nerd.
that's crazy because most of the people don't know. Like it's a really like little island. Like
Yeah.
nobody really knows about it. And yeah, my mom is from out there, but she actually has some like Indian and Vietnamese,
Okay.
you know, backgrounds. And then my dad is from Ivory Coast. He
Okay.
lives in France. And
Wow.
then I traveled like all around the world, like doing music. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we had a group called Soul Anthology. So they're soul singers. They used to sing, all the soul music
yeah.
songs like Aretha, some Piquet, everything. So I was really
Wow.
raised up uh, soul music. And then I was just adding some, something to the table because I
Mhm.
was younger. And then I would say like soul music too, but more like neo soul.
Right. Right.
And yeah, I also was in a gospel group.
Really?
I was not singing at church.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
I was
Got
not
it.
singing in church though,
Mm-hmm.
but we were traveling all around the world and just like spreading the message. And it was really beautiful. And then I just wanted to do things on my own. So I moved by myself in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been doing music. I've been, um,
Okay.
try to do something new with my music.
Okay. Okay. So, boy, give me a sec. Let's backtrack here.
So when my it's the languages for me, right? Because I think it's dope. And you know what? How do you feel? Let me show your face because I want people to see how you're
Gonna
gonna.
react when I ask you this question because I'm gonna put you on the spot, Miss Thing. Can you sing me? You already know. You already know what's gonna happen. Can you sing us 4 bars? If you want to sing 4 bars, if you don't want to sing 4 bars, just 2 bars. You can do a run for all we care. You could. Can we just hear something from you, Miss Katie?
Okay. What about so you guys have to choose. It's either If I Got You or Etta James at last.
At last,
At last.
Etta James. Yeah. Yeah. I love jazz. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My love, come along, my only day or over, and love is on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys are supposed to come through.
All right now. Come on. Come through with the runs, girl. Come through with the runs. I'm trying not to be too loud because my wife is asleep and she works later on tonight. She's a nurse. So I'm like, shh, you kill it. Woo.
Yeah, you gotta keep it quiet.
Right, right. So I'm like, man, wow. Yeah. And you know what? You're the most smilingest. That's not a real word. You smile a lot. That's good. That's no for real because I mean, I think that's just your personality. You look like you like to laugh a lot. Am I right or am I wrong on that? Mm-hmm.
I really keep my thoughts to myself a lot. And like sometimes it's just like the way I react. Like I just don't know what to say, so I'm just like,
Oh, you're
because in
funny.
my head it's like a lot going on.
Oh, so you one of them ones, instead of giving a petty look, you just laugh like, ah, ah.
Yeah, but actually, I'm full of good vibes too. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not here to, I'm not judging. I'm
yeah.
not like, I'm just really genuine. So
Wow.
it's, yeah.
You're going to be an interesting asset to the industry, I think, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I'm just regular schmegular dude, like for real. Like, I mean, I'm for real. But that's just my personal opinion. I think you're going to be an interesting asset. There's I feel like there's this. It's a lot of stuff going on in the clubhouse that I'm in right now. They're talking about some crazy stuff in the political realm. But um, I feel like there's a lot of shifting transpiring. You know, what I'm saying? Especially in this country, there's a lot of shifting. Um, People want to see different things. People want to experience different things. We're tired of the way the world is within this country. At least we've been dealing with it for at least like 9 months to a year already. We're tired, and we need different breaths of fresh air. There's different. You got gatekeepers. You got different passing of the guards, transpiring slowly but surely. And I feel like, just me personally, this is my opinion, okay, Kayden, is that you're going to be one of those people to be a light to others. All right, that's the best way to say it. And I ain't trying to preach, so I ain't gonna go there. But I'm just saying, just me, just looking at you and just out the get you. There's a light about you, and I think as
Appreciate
long as you, whatever you doing, to stay positive, to keep doing that. Right? I don't know what you're doing. We ain't got to get into that. But whatever you're doing to just maintain it. Because I mean, boy. Right? I'm pretty sure you know. You said your parents, do they not do they did they do stuff in the industry as well?
it. Yeah. So they were working with a lot of like big names.
Okay.
Like Lionel Richie with the music.
Really? Not Lionel.
Yes, was bigger too. They're not old like that, but they're like that generation.
Got
So
it.
yeah,
No, but no. Let's not do that to your parents because you mentioned line. Oh, I'm saying you're like you know it. That's because you're saying that because it's younger people that don't know about these people. You're talking to the
yeah,
wrong person. I'm 36, so I know about the older heads. You know what I'm saying? And so those are the same people that paved the road for people like us. You know what I'm saying? And it would be disrespectful of us to just like not saying that you're doing this, but just as a whole, our generation, the people younger than us, it would be disrespectful to just gloss over their history because they played a heavy part. Yeah.
yeah.
In the way like our music, the way just the way we sing. If these people didn't sing the way that they were singing, we wouldn't be doing it. Like case in point, like if there was never a Stevie Wonder, we wouldn't really be hearing too many runs. If there was never a Clark Sisters group, we wouldn't be hearing people do these crazy runs and you know what I'm saying, and advanced runs that they do. These are the people that paved the way for us. So we would be amiss to, you know what I'm saying, just be like, I don't know, and not saying that you're doing that, but it's like other, you know what I'm saying. Think about it. I'm pretty sure you come across people like you mentioned somebody older, and they're like, well, who is that? And you're just like, come on, man. Like these people paved the way. So the fact that you mentioned Lionel Richie, you know what I'm saying, is it's big. It's big because of the music. I mean, he was with the Commodores before that. You know what I'm saying? And that's big. Like for real. That's big. And for the fact that your parents played a part in that is big because look how it influenced you in your singing, girl. Come on. Come on, man. Come on,
I
man.
feel like so. I really like started singing about like on my own
Mm,
because my mom didn't want me to sing, which is
really?
crazy. Yeah, she didn't want me to sing at all. She was like, "You have to focus on school," because I guess she knew like the difficulties of like the music industry, and
Yeah.
like she thought that I was too naive at the time. So she
Well,
was
how
like,
old
"You
were
don't
you?
have you don't have like protection on your own for now, so you have to focus on what's gonna protect you in the future, you
Mm-hmm.
know." And like me, I'm really passionate about my music. I've
Yeah.
always been, and I think she saw that from the beginning, and she was like, "It's good to have a passion, but you have to, um, I guess, fit in the society
Wow.
first."
Huh.
Yeah. So she didn't know I was singing at all. It's just one day I was like 14,
Mm-hmm.
and I sang for her. I remember it was "Love on Top" by
Uh.
Beyonce,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and she was shocked.
Wow.
After that, I started doing gigs with her. So I was 14 when I started my first gig. She
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, now you're ready.
Wow.
You're ready."
Wow. Wow.
I
And
was
I always think stuff like that is dope in reference to your parents watering the seed, right? Technically, they played a part in planting the seed, but now they're turning it around and watering it. And a lot of us don't have that opportunity. It's rare. Like most of these people that we really see are big, like in a realm of like R&B music, soul music, and stuff like that. Their parents literally saw something with their kid and said, "Okay, I mean, you're still gonna go to school, you're gonna do this, but you're gonna get somewhere with this, and I'm gonna make sure that you get somewhere with it." You know what I'm saying? And they're protective over their cub in the process of it. I mean, you see that with Brandy. Brandy still works with her mother, with her parents. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce, to my understanding, unless something shifted, she was still doing stuff with her mother and her father. Usher, he was working with his mother for years, and then somebody pulled him away like he was King Solomon, and then they had to pull him back, and he, man, mama, I'm sorry, mama. You know what I'm saying? He was on his, you know what I'm saying, his what is that, an Eminem song? Mama, I never meant to make you cry. Yeah. Something. It was some song Eminem did, right, in reference to his mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm cleaning up my closet. So he Usher went back to his mom. He went through this whole episode, and it's like it was almost as if the moment he stepped away from his mom being a manager is where his life shifted tremendously. I mean, even from a social perspective, me personally, the woman that he married, we ain't gonna get into that. Something felt off with that, anyways. It wasn't really like the way she looked. It was just like I felt something off of that. I was like, bro, you ain't supposed to be with this chick, bro. What are you doing? But now you brought children into it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But his mother was trying to even steer him away from that, and he ain't listening. I mean, it is what it is. So it's vitally important when you have parents that not just think about the money, but they're thinking about their child behind closed doors at the end of the day, and that's so important. Something that me and my I guess I'll call her an acquaintance now because she's cool people. She's a sweetheart. She lives in Cali, so you might I'll send you a message of who she is. What's her name, right? But it'd be dope if you guys do music. So yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in a little bit. I'm not gonna forget. But I was sharing the story of how a couple of years ago, my god brother was like, Gerard, you're this and you're that and you're talented. Why ain't you made it? And I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, well, maybe I got to be in a certain region. I'm from Michigan, all right? I was in the military. I got out. I lived in Kentucky for 9 years. And then I moved here to Texas. And I've been here in Texas almost 9 years as well. Jeez. So I said, but I was like, I don't know. And so I prayed and I was like, well, God, now, mind you, I'm not trying to preach. I'm just sharing my story. And I said, God, so what's good, man? I'm like, why isn't da 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 da? And so he said, I'm trying to protect you. That's how I heard it. I'm trying to protect you. Now, my mother didn't know too much about the game. Like my mother, she's from right. She's originally from Memphis, Tennessee. They moved to Saginaw. That's where I was born at. So, in reference to the Clark sisters, the mother, Dr. Maddie Clark, right? I don't know if you know of her. She was like the mother, the manager for the Clark sisters. My mother used to be a part of a church called Covering. Yep, you're absolutely right, Boris. Boris is one of my brothers from church I used to attend. And so,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking at a message right now. That's remember I was telling you about the chat part.
that's what
Yeah,
we're watching.
yeah. So that's how I
Okay.
turned and looked and was like, okay, now I'm paying attention to the messages now. So, but what happened was my mother, she went to this church called Williams Temple, and her last year, yeah, Dr. Maddie Clark. She would travel to Saginaw, and she cut an album with Williams Temple. My mother was on the album, and that was it. But my mother wanted to do more. And but that was it because there's so many singers in Saginaw, Michigan. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? This is before Motown moved to Cali. Motown was still in Detroit. So, but there were so many singers. We still got that whole ordeal back home in Michigan. It's some singers back home. But my mother didn't have the parents to like say, okay, Deborah, I see something in you, or I see something in this family, because like my uncles and my aunts are singers. Like it's ridiculous. Like they could have literally had
That's
their own.
insane.
Yeah, yeah,
That's insane.
exactly. But there was nothing there to say, hey, let's do something with these kids. They just raised them, and we gonna figure out life. And so you got some parents that just kind of like walk into that with their own kids, and then I was like, well, I got to figure it out for myself. So it's that's what I'm saying. So like in reference to your mother, like man, just continuously give her her flowers while she's still here. And I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I give her flowers every day.
Continuously do it, girl. Continuously give your mother her flowers now. So, um, let's get into this. Behind closed doors, we were talking about the language thing, and I was like really shocked because I'm like, nah, bro, I refuse to believe this. You said, you said French was your first language, and
It's
then
actually not perfect.
now, how old were you? And let me backtrack. So, um, French was your first language. You grew up in France, but you were born in Guadalupe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you were born in Guadalupe, but you migrated to France. French was your first language. When did and we're going to talk about your other languages as well, all right? But when you came here to the States, how old were you? Were you actually a teenager when you came to the States?
So now I'm 23,
Yeah.
but I came for the first time I was 20.
Okay. But so my mind just hold on. Let me show my face real quick.
My mind just said poof. So in 3 years,
So in 3 years, you your English is and that sounds weird to say that because we're here in the States. We have this mindset to where it's like this is America. Well, we don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. But oh, this is America. You learn English, right? You know what I mean? But we tend to think that because people migrate here that they're automatically magically just through osmosis or something soon as they cross through the border lines that they pick up English automatically. But I'm really right. You know, it's funny, but it's just the way that we think as Americans. It's the dumbest thing in the world, right? And I'm for real, it's the dumbest thing. I never thought like that, even when I didn't learn languages. I was just like, that's stupid. Like they came from a different country. Like, how would you? Why do you expect them to pick it up like that? Like, what the heck? But um, I'm thoroughly amazed. Within 3 years, your English is that proficient.
It's been a journey
Yeah,
because when I first got here, so I was in the Bay Area
yeah.
first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was just like walking the street. Cause okay, in France,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Paris, like people won't talk to you like that, like randomly in the streets or like. And then I got here, and I'm like everybody's trying to talk to me.
Oh,
They're like, oh,
that's because you.
trying to like we don't get compliments in the streets like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, like thank you. And so
yeah.
I was just so scared to, because I could understand what people were saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just scared to just speak out. So
Yeah.
I would always have my headphones and be like, nobody's gonna talk to me today. Nobody's
And
gonna talk to me
they will
today
still
because
talk
I'm trying
them.
to speak English right now. Like,
Them jokers will still try to
but
pull up.
I'm not comfortable with it. And now I'm in a podcast, so
Wow, that's
but
crazy.
it's crazy, yeah.
Well, I'll say this is the best way to say it because my wife is going to watch this. So I got to be mindful of my words. Even behind closed doors, I have to be mindful of my words. But you're blessed. And that's why you got all these cats trying to cat call. Okay? We'll just leave it like that. Amen and amen. You're blessed. You're blessed. Amen. You're blessed. And that's why you got all these cats complimenting you out the wood. You know what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere. But I'm just like, wow. So, I mean, so you had already graduated high school over in France. I'm under.
Yeah.
And then your mom was like, "Hey, yo, let's go to." Wait a minute, hold on. Let's backtrack here. Wait. It just dawned on me. Your mother worked with Lionel Richie. When did she live in the states at one time before you were ever born?
Oh, when? Okay, so when I was younger, I was like raised by my grandma, so I was staying with her in France,
Mm.
and my mom was in LA because she was working with this artist, this French artist that everybody loved.
Wow.
They were
Well,
going on
who's the
tour.
artist? What was the artist? What was that artist's name?
His name is Johnny Hallyday. He's a French artist.
Why does that name sound familiar?
He was really like well known for rock music. He
Really?
was a beast,
Okay.
like really. And so they were going out there. I mean, out here in LA,
Mm.
and she would go like back and forth. She was always on tour, so I was
Mm-hmm.
not really like able to see her.
Okay.
And that's when she met Lionel Richie,
Mm-hmm.
and then she got the chance to sing with him
Yeah.
and do like multiple projects with him and everything. So I guess that happened when I was around 6 or 7.
Wow. Cause I was confused. I was like, you said, yeah, I was born in France, but my mom worked with Lionel Richie. I was like, what?
But also she worked with like some people like because she would travel in Asia or anywhere just for like festivals. You know, she would sing
Really?
festivals and she would work with big names. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get to that real quick because I was just like blown away. I was like, Negro, how? Help me understand this.
No,
Okay.
Lionel didn't go to France.
Yeah, no, I thought he like, I was like, what? He like, when he was on tour, he met her in France. It was like, yo, you're dope. Let's work. And she was like, okay. Like, let's do it. So, okay.
So she stayed over. She stayed in LA for about like 4 years
Okay.
while I was in France with my grandma.
Got it. Wow. Well, shout out to your grandmother too for like understanding and saying, "Hey, babe, fulfill your, you know what I'm saying? Fulfill your passion, fulfill your dream. I'm gonna take care of, you know what I'm saying, my granddaughter." And I'm pretty sure y'all still stayed in contact, right, via the phone because we didn't have all this stuff going on then. So we just had a telephone, and that was it. So but that's amazing. That's amazing. And your mother still, she didn't feel there was no, I mean, outside of like a physical disconnection while she was doing work here in the States, she still was trying to do what she needed to do to stay in connection with you. That's what I'm, yeah, and I'm like, that's a beautiful thing because there's stories where kids live here in the States and their mother or their father don't even, they pursue their dreams and just don't even think about their child no more after that. So that's amazing that even though she was passionate about this thing with music, that she was still like, no, I need to make sure my baby girl is good. Not just, hey, mom, let me drop you off and I'm just going to pursue. We see that in movies. People hate their parents.
Yeah.
You drop me off on
It was
somebody.
kind of weird in the beginning when
Uh,
she like came back from
yeah,
LA
yeah.
because I didn't think that she was really my mom like that. Like I don't know. I
Wow.
was just like, well, to grandma, like what's going on now, you know? But we it's a process, you know, and
Yeah,
now she's here and she's always been here
yeah.
after that. So it's yeah.
Okay, let me give me a sec. They said your volume is kind of low, so I'm gonna turn you up real quick, so it's on my end. All right. Hey, say hello in French real quick, or say something else in French real quick.
Salut, ça va?
Say again.
Salut, ça va?
Okay, you should be good now. All right, you should be good to go. I just wanted to make sure our audio was straight. Sorry about that, y'all. And okay, I think you're good. I think you're good. Okay, cool. We should be good to go. All right, you guys watching, A Boris or Azariah, you guys let me know if you guys can hear her, if she sounds a little bit louder now. All right. So okay, let's now we're gonna get into the language part. We're gonna still discuss your music, but I want to get into the language. So you came here to the States. Why'd you shake your head for? So we're gonna get into that. So you can't, cause I'm just like, yo, what? Like nobody would be able to tell. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was like, man, your English is really proficient. I mean, I hear an accent, But you haven't. No, that's fine. I mean, it is for me at least. It's not about changing your accent. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to sound like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to sound like a white person. I'm expecting you to sound like you and your. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, okay, I'm gonna do this. Yo hablo en español, ¿verdad? Pero cuando yo hablo, tú puedes oír mi acento. Mi acento es de afroamericano, pero un poquito del Caribe. Pero al fin, yo soy afroamericano. Right? So basically, you hear my accent, it still sounds African American, but I can't change it. As much as I try, for me personally, my I had a god brother that was telling me to like at least pronounce my words correctly in Spanish. He said to pick up a dialect and then work on my accent to where I'm not saying hola, como te va. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not finna do that. But
Yeah, no, stop when they do that. This is
it's
not.
gross. It's gross and disgusting. I never really talked like that anyways, but like I cringe when I would hear other people that were like American, like speak a different language or speak Spanish. I was just like, bro, you're saying that entirely wrong. That's gross. So, but what I'm trying to say is that in reference to you, like I hear your accent, but you're straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like your English is proficient. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to tell that you only it took you 3 years basically to pick it up and like
Yeah.
what in the world. So you really let me see let me see what he said. I'm happy she came in on the east coast versus the west coast versus the east. Okay, hey boys, hey tell me why in the
It
comments.
was a battle.
Oh, say again.
I said it was a battle because I couldn't pick first. I was like, what do I want? I like the New York, you know?
Yeah.
If I would go to like the East Coast, I would choose New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, New York is kind of like Paris, you know? It's like
Yeah.
we don't have time. We don't talk to people. Like, we just like go in and get the bag and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
And even the style is kind of the same. And I was like, well, do I want something familiar or do I want to like step out of my comfort zone? So I was like, well, let's just go back to the palm trees, to the good life, to the sun.
Right, right,
So yeah.
right. So that's like I said, it's still amazing. Okay, so they said, yo, okay, I fixed some things. So I'm trying to see, make sure the audio is better now. Okay. Hey, I fixed it. So let me know if her. Hey, sis, what's going on? So hey, boys, let me know if her audio is better. I had to fix something on my end, so we should be good. All right. So give me a sec. Hold on. What do you say? Because of the influence of the culture of the accents, absolutely. So I'm gonna go to IG real quick. So I want to make, cause I want to read what you wrote me in reference to the different languages that you said that you speak. And of course, you said you're currently learning Spanish, so you're basically a polyglot. A polyglot is somebody that speaks multiple languages. So I'm like thoroughly impressed. Like I just stuck with my English and my Spanish. I was slowly trying to learn a little bit of Portuguese because I speak Spanish, and it's like I get some of it, but all I can say is yo falo Portuguese. That's about it. That's all I can say. Or yo no or yo no falo Portuguese, right? And I'm still trying to figure that out. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? But they're similar
Portuguese and
languages.
Spanish are two languages that I can understand and comprehend just because it's like close to French, but
Right,
I
you're
can't
right.
speak it like that, you know? I mean, I can speak Spanish, but it would sound like a robot, you know?
It would sound like a what?
A robot.
What? Okay. All right. All right, so you say okay, so your audio okay, so good, your audio is better now. Okay, good. So I fixed that. I'm happy. All right, so you speak French, you speak English, you say you speak Creole. Creole in one perspective, like Haitian Creole. Like if I were
No,
to say that, or
Creole from Guadalupe. So it's kind of like the same.
okay,
No, actually, okay, so people from Guadalupe can understand Haitian Creole, but Haitian can't understand this.
wow. So in
Yeah.
Guadalupe, so they speak French, a form of French in Guadalupe.
So yeah, they some people speak French, but it's
Okay,
mostly Creole. So it's like broken French.
got it. Okay, okay. Wait a minute. So if it's broken French, then that means there's some African language that you guys primarily speak and is mixed into French. Then,
Yeah,
so what
yeah.
language is that, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually don't know
I was just
because
curious.
it's like
Yeah.
the slave language,
Yeah.
so it's like it can be from anywhere,
Mm,
but maybe like Senegal or
okay.
Ivory Coast. Yeah,
Got it. Okay, I'm gonna do some research on it because I'm super curious. Because I'm like, when you said, that, I was like, my brain just instantly goes like, okay, that makes sense. Then if you were to say something to somebody in IT and they're just looking at you like, I understand like a little bit what you're saying, but what are you trying to say? Because
yeah,
you're,
because
yeah,
it's
so that
like
makes sense.
everybody was like colonized by French people,
Yeah.
but they all had their own way to turn things out for like so they couldn't understand, So we
Yeah.
all have the Creole, but it's still,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. Okay, so the other language, and I think I'm gonna say this wrong, but it's abore.
Yeah,
Abore.
like that. Abure.
Okay, I'm looking at the accent, man. I'm so happy I speak Spanish. It helps me. So it's abore. Yeah,
Yeah. More
abore.
like
Right.
abure.
Abure. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So I don't
Yeah.
actually hold out the O. It's more of the U. The U is more prominent. Abure. Okay, got it. And you said it's a Ghanaian language, a Ghana and uh, Ivorian
I,
or
yeah.
Ivorian language. Okay, so educate me on that. Just say something simple. I love hearing languages, so I'm just like, just go ahead. Just say whatever. Hi, how you doing? Hope all is well with you.
Uh,
Something simple. We ain't gonna make it difficult.
um, Wafende, Obade Sanfo, Meche Chimabre, Mesa Makomifie.
Yo, that is dope. That is dope. So that particular language,
Yeah.
um, is that based on your father? Because you say your father's from the Ivory Coast.
Yeah. It's based on
So,
my father.
so he
Um,
is he the one that actually taught you that language growing up? Like he would speak to you every once in a while, or when did you start speaking it or
um,
picking it up?
so I started by singing it because my dad would write in that language.
Got it.
Um, and then I just started to like translate all the songs, and then he would speak all the time with his family, but not really to my brothers and sisters. So it would be like, Dad, like what you're doing, like you always speak
Right.
with your family, but us, you just
Yeah.
like speak
Yeah.
French, like what what is it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then we just like started picking it up, and yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Now we're gonna go to this one here because you said behind closed doors, I'm learning how to speak Spanish. So what made you say, okay, I want to learn. I want to learn Spanish. What made you say that? Is it because you migrated here to the States and were around or came across Spanish speaking people in LA and you just like, ah, you know what? I want to pick that up too. Just, it's almost like just because you could.
So the reason why I moved to the States in the first place is because I
Okay.
was studying law in France in
Really?
three languages. So it would be French, English, and Spanish. And then I was like, well,
Law?
this is actually too much because it's like three different laws, like
Hold up, but
three
wait.
different like governments.
Flag on the
And I
play.
was like, this
Flag
is
on the
actually
play.
too much. Like, I just want to learn one language at a time. So I'm going to start with English. So that's
Okay.
why I moved like here first. And then I don't know, like there's a lot of like Hispanic people are here,
Yeah.
and I was actually really good at Spanish in high school, so I was just
Yeah.
like, well,
Oh
now I
wow.
think it's time. Like,
Yeah.
I know how to, make a sentence in English. So
Okay,
now
girl. So
I have
give me
to
a sec.
learn
I'm gonna read
Spanish.
these. I want to read these messages. But when you said law in three different languages, I said, hold up. Law?
It was something. So it would be like the common law, which is American, and the law from the UK, and then it would be
Wow.
French law and Spanish law, and all three in three languages.
Actually,
So
let me read this real quick. So my homegirl, she actually did that too. I Asia, I thought you already got your bachelor's in Spanish. I'm sorry, I'm reading her comment. She said, I just finished school. I'm gonna be getting my bachelor's in Spanish. I learned Spanish at the age of 3. Right, girl, but I thought you already got your bachelor's in Spanish. Okay. I thought she got her because she graduated and I thought she got her bachelor's in Spanish. But that just blew my mind that you were learning law in three separate languages. That's crazy, man. So then upon
Yeah, it
here,
was crazy.
yeah, that's why I was like, what in the world? Like I mean, okay, I get it, but sheesh, that's a lot of brain power. You know what I'm saying? Just be just
No, that's why I stopped.
oh for real?
Because it was too
Okay.
much. It was too much, but I'm gonna get back into it.
Okay, okay.
Now that I'm bilingual, even more. How do you say bilingual?
Yeah, I don't know how they would say that. Like, I don't know what word.
It's just
I just
like
know the word like in English, like if you're they call you a polyglot. That's just I don't know where that word
polyglot.
came from or multilinguist, but they say polyglot because you know like more than two languages. You know what I'm saying? So you
Okay.
would be considered a polyglot because you learn like it's a bunch of languages that you know, which is really dope. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited. You can
Thank
literally
you.
do music in any language that you feel like doing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the artist. Her name is Karina Pasian. She's Dominican. Oh, check her out, Karina Pasian. I wouldn't be surprised if
Okay.
one day you cross paths with her. Little skinny, light skinned chick, basically, just real skinny. But that girl can sing. All right, the girl can sing. She's a couple years older than you. I think she's like 29, but she's been around for like a few years since she was like 16. But I didn't really know about her until I heard her sing a song in Spanish. So it's a song that I sample of her, and in English it's called "Love in Slow Motion." Um,
Okay.
and just Google it on your own free time. It's a really dope song, okay, Kayden? It's a really
I
dope song.
will.
But I heard it in Spanish the first time. I was asleep. I was watching some show. I fell asleep watching some show in the Dominican Republic. And I wake up and I hear this girl singing. I'm like, why does it sound like an R&B song? Like it's in Spanish. I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I hearing? And I wake up and it's this girl singing in Spanish. And in Spanish, the song's called Amame en cámara lenta. So basically, it was love me in slow motion, but the literal term was love me in the slow lens. Like the lens is recording and it's recording in slow motion. I was like, that's an interesting play on words, right? But the way that she said it, and I was like, yo, that's dope. And so I fell in love with the song, and I ended up sampling it for my own like little project or whatever. But she actually speaks like five different languages as well. Of course, she speaks English,
Wow.
she speaks Spanish, she speaks Arabic, and I think she speaks some Turkish language. And then there's like one more language. I don't know what it is, but it's one more language. It might be French. I'm not sure, but she speaks
Maybe.
five languages, and I'm like, yo, like think about the people, not just here in the states, because um, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Most people in the states aren't mentally prepared for somebody to be singing in a different language because, like I said, this is America. You speak English, right? So it's
I
I mean,
know.
but for real, I deal with that. I've been doing like bilingual stuff like a little bit after I joined this church. I don't go to this church anymore. That was just like years ago. It was in Kentucky, but I was like, yo, I want to do stuff in Spanish too. I want to do stuff in like bilingual, whatever, whatever. And so I would play my song Lambada, and it's just like, oh, okay. And then I'm going in Spanish. It's like, what the heck? It's like, but I'm like at this point here in the States, Spanish is like the secondary language here.
Yeah.
It's the second most spoken
And
language
all
here in the
around the world
States.
too. Like it's English and then Spanish.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
these are the two
With
languages that you have to know.
with the world, it's you're right. It's actually the third spoken language. The first one is it's actually it might be between Mandarin or English, which is really weird. But it might be well Chinese. So it's Chinese. It's between like English and Chinese being the first or third. I mean first or second. But then Spanish right after that is it's in third across in like throughout the world. But then here in the states, it's the secondary. It's the second most spoken language. So I'm like, well, y'all should be used to this at this point. But again, this is America. So so but it's interesting. So I call this episode "The Language of Love" because of the fact I had you in mind because of like your music, and I please forgive me because I was trying to find stuff. I'm like, well, where can we find? Did you get a chance to release any music? Because in Clubhouse, you was talking about you did music videos and this, that, this, and the third, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, I wanted to go and check it out, but so where can we go and check it out? Maybe I missed the link. Maybe I didn't click something.
So you can
Oh, Spotify.
find me everywhere as Kayden Winnett.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Instagram name. This is my name everywhere, basically.
Okay,
On Spotify, on Apple Music, on Tidal, everywhere, all the platforms possible.
got it.
YouTube, that's where I have my music videos. So yeah.
Okay. And if you don't mind, let's do this right now. I know people that's going to be listening to the podcast later on. You guys might be like, what is he doing? So I'm discussing it right now so I can kill the space right here. So you can't see what I'm sharing right now. Let me see if this is. No, this isn't. Wait, is it just Kayden? Is it Kayden or Kayden Monet?
Kayden Winnett. Yeah, so Kayden and then Wanet.
Whoa. W. Wait, I'm spelling this
A.
all the way wrong. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna click your link on my iPad because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm spelling this wrong, and I know that I am. Give me one sec so I can look at this. Oh, you're on a playlist. Playlist. All right, Miss Thing. Oh, Juanette. Juanette.
Yeah.
That's my
Hmm.
fault for my listening skills. My listening skills are trash.
It's okay.
Okay. And let me add the Y to it. This is for people that are watching, so you guys can look at it as well. But it's Kate and Juanette. Okay. All right. All right. And then I'm actually gonna follow you as well on your music. So click follow. All right, there we go. So I'm following. I'm officially following. So then I'm gonna follow this playlist too, so I can listen to it. So I'm gonna heart it. Oh, you're on a super playlist. This got D Smoke, Sir, Masego, Xavier Omar. You on that playlist? Okay, all right, Miss Thing. Her, Summer Walker, Roe. Okay, Division, Jesse Boykins. Oh man, somebody got some good taste in music. They got Jesse Boykins on there. Tank, PJ Morton, JoJo. Okay, this is a nice playlist. I don't know who made this playlist, but they got a good
It's
taste in.
by R&B only. I don't
Really?
know if you know that page. Yeah, R&B only.
Wow. Yeah, we gonna chop. We gonna chop. We gonna chop behind closed doors. Cause I'm like, I need to get my music on a really good playlist too. But all right. But there you guys go. You guys can see that it's Kate and Juanette, and I'm gonna blow this up so you guys can see it. There you go. And yeah, make sure you guys follow her. She has her bio right here as well. And yeah, y'all make sure y'all check her out. So your music, cause you consider yourself like a solo R&B artist. So let's discuss this. Um, with your music, what happened? Because your brain is like, oh boy, what are you about to ask me? That's how you,
Yeah.
boy, your face is telling.
Okay.
Like, what is he about to ask me? I'll never ask you anything sideways. So, for a first time listener or a first time watcher of your music, or as far as like watching you on this podcast or in live, what would you like to convey to people in reference to your music? What is it that you're trying to share with your music?
So it's mostly my personal experience,
Mm-hmm.
and also mostly like what a lot of women, we
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of things that we don't talk about,
Okay.
and I want to be the one that's, like the fact that I'm foreign
Mm-hmm.
here, and that I moved out here by myself. I was at a really young age, and then some experiences that I didn't know I would experience, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like as I wanted to just give a, I guess, a foreign perspective of what
Got it.
like space looks like, um,
Wow. Okay, that's good. That's really
and
good.
also the fact that I'm like from all these continents, like Africa, the Caribbean,
Yeah.
Asia,
Yeah.
Europe. It's just like I think I have like a lot to offer too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I like it. So basically, in a nutshell, you're telling me that you said you want to. That's good. You want to share your experiences as a black woman, but from but a black woman that's actually not born here in the states, but came
Yeah,
here and he's like, well, I want to share my experiences. As that's really interesting. Oh yeah,
because
I'm gonna listen to your
like
music.
there's a lot of like, I don't know how to say that, but as a black woman here, like people, I maybe look like everybody, or maybe I look like people or someone that like was raised here
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes, and people like literally like assume that I'm from here, so they're like
yeah.
trying to, get aggressive and stuff, and then they see
Wow.
me, like they hear my accent, and they're like, oh, she's actually not from here, and then that's when they started like acting different and be like nicer. So I'm
Ooh.
like,
But do you understand why though?
maybe because I'm not from here, so they're like,
Okay.
oh, she's black, but she's not like African American.
Okay, so I'm gonna educate you real quick because that's the harsh way of saying it. But essentially, yes. Oh, this is gonna be hard. It's gonna make some people feel some type of way. I already know it.
I know.
You know, because well, the reason I say that is because like my wife is she's Jamaican and Belizean, but she was born here in the States, right? So she's pretty much Americanized, but she grew up seeing other different things. So she's like, all right, I'm cool. Her viewpoint is slightly different, but she still experienced some things that other typical African Americans dealt with as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna share her story. That's on her if she ever wants to share that. But I'll put it like this. I'm trying to find the nicest way to say this, because other black women are gonna look at this and be like, "What you about to say?" But no, I'm for real. It's a mindset. It's the way, for the most part, you were brought up, so to speak. And but just in the, but everybody's home is not identical. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that grew up in a two-parent household, single-parent household. It was healthy, it wasn't healthy, it was functional, or it was dysfunctional, and then that affects the child. But for a lot of us, we kind of grew up the same type of way. We grew up in a single-parent household, but we saw dysfunction, or we didn't see mom in a healthy relationship, or we didn't see mom in any type of relationship. And so these things affected us, or some of us, which is interesting in your case, but some of us we grew up without our mom or dad and had auntie and uncle or had grandmama and granddad to raise us. So we didn't even sometimes some of us didn't even have that. So our vantage point is different. And so essentially because our viewpoint is different, it's a cultural thing, right? So, but even though you grew up with your grandmother was able to instill certain things into you. I'm under the impression, and that includes your mother and your father. They were all able to instill certain things into you. And for some of us, there's certain things that we're lacking. And I'll be transparent. You living in LA, you probably already saw it, not just in black women, but in African Americans in general. But even because you're around Hispanic people, you probably saw the same thing in some cases. They may be a little bit slightly more family oriented. They may know a little bit, but for the most part, there's dysfunction in certain, you know what I'm saying? In certain circles, you'll see it. There's just a certain way. You're like, why are you acting like that? You may not say it, but I'm pretty sure you think it. Like, why are you, man, do all Americans act like that? No, but a plethora of us do, but it's because of our upbringing or the lack of certain things in our upbringing. So it makes sense. So when a brother comes and talks to you and he looks at you, and from first glance, you're an just let's just call it a buck because you live here in the United States. Welcome to the monopoly of being viewed as an African American. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? It's
Yeah.
funny because you got people like, for example, you speak French, they wouldn't know that that's your first language just by glance, right? I speak Spanish just by this literally happened with me. Like I was working at a real estate office like about like almost 8 years ago. There was a kid next to me that spoke that did not speak Spanish, but he's Hispanic. The lady came in, she's Hispanic. She came and started talking to him. He said in English, I don't speak Spanish. I can't help you. So then I started speaking Spanish and she said, oh, okay. And so it's like, that's just a monopoly of it. But she didn't know because we live here in the United States and this is America. So if I see a black person, I'm going to think that you speak English. I'm gonna think because of all these stereotypes that I've seen on TV or in a neighborhood or wherever I go that you're this type of black person. So even amongst ourselves, we deal with colorism, okay? We deal with colorism, and then we just deal with the negative stereotypes of thinking that everybody is the same. There's certain things that were told to us that weren't even true, but then we got people acting it out. So then now when they see you, before you open up your mouth and say anything, they already painted a certain impression of who you are before even knowing your name. They're like, oh, okay. Oh, she one of them woke
Right.
sisters. She probably catty. She probably this, that, this, and the third. But the moment you're like, hey, how you doing? My name is Kayden, or they just hear you talk, they're like, okay, well, wait a minute. She don't sound like a sister. So in their brain, their mind shifts already. They're like, okay, so her accent tells me that she's already different. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what else she's about.
Also, like the way I react too, because
Yeah.
I guess like people expect me to react a certain way, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not me. Like this is not.
Yeah.
So they get like frustrated and everything, but I'm like, well,
Frustrated.
I don't.
But why? Why would they get frustrated? Is it just a
So
cultural
ask
thing?
them.
Is it more kind of like a cultural thing? Like they'll say something, you be like, okay, like I don't, I'm not,
Yeah,
not saying that
maybe
you don't
it's
understand
something like
English.
that, like because I was not raised here, so there's certain
Got it.
things they're gonna say, and they
Yeah.
think I'm gonna relate to it, but I'm like,
Got it. Got it. So it's not because they may think like because you can't relate, they may automatically assume that you just don't understand what they're saying. It's like, no, I just can't relate to what you're saying.
yeah,
That's good. That's good. So that and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not trying to be like a spokesperson for African Americans. It's just that I get it. So for them, they're just like, why don't you get it? You look like
yeah,
me. You know what I'm saying? It's like just because I look like you doesn't mean that I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? And there's instances where you may deal with certain similarities because let's just call it a spade. Within the African diaspora itself, we all dealt with slavery, right? But
yeah,
then there's been different cultural shifts. There's certain things that are similar throughout different countries in the Caribbean and United States and Canada. And, I'm not going to touch the continent of Africa just yet. But then, like, you know what I'm saying, the UK and different areas where we dealt with like similar things. It was just worded differently. Like for us, we call it colorism. Like I'm just giving you an example of this. I'm just using this as a particular example. We deal with colorism to where like in like people that speak Spanish, they call it mejorando la raza. There's still colorism. So mejorando la raza basically means bettering the race, right? So basically, say somebody is telling you, Kayden, to get with a white dude or a lighter skinned person just so your kids can have a better life. You know what I'm saying? Because of the social construct. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example, like to where we may deal with things that are similar, but it's worded differently. And then there's just other cultural things that are not similar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
A cultural thing would be like our food palette. Like being African American, a lot of us ate what we would consider now like slave food, like chitlins and stuff like that. Uh, Y'all didn't eat stuff like that. I think you guys have like a healthier food palette than we
it
do.
depends.
So,
Like in Africa, I would say this is gonna be like the original food,
uh huh, uh huh,
In the Caribbean, there's some stuff that are like, slave food, and then
yeah, yeah,
it's just then a cultural thing.
right,
But yeah, and
yeah.
then I'm also raised in France, so it's like I
That's
like the
another,
French
yeah,
food too, and I can relate to it because I was
right.
raised there.
Right.
So
And I think that's a interesting and that's a beautiful thing though, sis. Like I really honestly do. And I think that's dope. Like I said, you have a light about you. Just continue to cultivate that light, man. So
thank
shoot, because I told you we're gonna keep it at an hour and we got like a few seconds. Um, let's do this. Um, because I think later on I want to have you on again. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know when, but I would like to have you on again and we'll just chop it up and talk about your progression in music and stuff like that. But let's end it like this, sis. Where where can we find you at on social media? Give us your Spotify and other DSPs. Yeah, give us all those links.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram as Kayden Winnet. This is the only social media that I have right now.
Okay.
You can also find me on Clubhouse. That's where I found you too.
Yep. Yep.
Here when that my music you can find it on Spotify and Apple Music, on Tidal, on Pandora, on YouTube. So yeah, just check it out.
Okay. Good. Good. All right, y'all. So hopefully, let me see something here.
Camera ain't trip. All right, good. My camera ain't trip. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. It's supposed to be different podcast. This is episode 48. Look at you, girl. Hold on, let me go back. So I'm sitting there. Hold on, because she
Feeling herself. Boy. Okay. So this is episode 48, The Language of Love, featuring Kayden Juanette. Be sure to check her out and follow her, guys. And peace and God bless, guys. Deuce.